Hello everyone, and welcome to the 49th session of the Devouring Dark. Last time, lots of stuff happened.
Well, lots of stuff as in non-combat related and just sitting in our places. Not that it's bad.
Pretty much. That was pretty much all that happened. So, where did we start?
Well,
That's
we
where I was.
last
We
thing
started in the wagon while I was still giant eagle.
Yes.
that's the last
Oh,
time.
that's right. That's right. A lot of funny stuff got missed. By Lonnie.
I know, I heard about it.
You were protecting the giant eagle, and they were trying to change him back because they wanted his magical powers. And you
Magical
were.
powers? Question mark.
That was the only combat instance. You and Lily and Goroth Goroth wanted to remain a giant eagle, and Lily also wanted that. Whereas,
Not really. I just didn't want to get hit.
well, that's true too. And Adosan and Alatar wanted him to change back. So then there was a little conflict there. Unfortunately, Adosan's gun is a little bit too powerful, and he just took all of the eagle's HP, and he turned back into a humanoid.
Not with the overkilling one-shot triple barrel hit.
Yeah, not with that one.
Not the overpowered one. No, just
yes,
the one barrel.
Just the overpowered.
Yeah.
Either way. So he took the eagle form away, and there was some how could I say this? Creative interpretations that I made with the Lily character, due to the fact that Lonnie wasn't here. Based on what happened before, that she found out that she's basically missing memories, things like that. She decided to be mopey for a while, and sort of sat in the corner for a while. And Erosan and the others tried to cheer her up a little bit, but it ultimately didn't work. Just so you're aware, during that interlude, they were trying to get you to eat popcorn or make popcorn and things like that, and you weren't going for it because you were a little bit mopey. And then he took out this piece of meteorite, which honestly I still don't remember when I gave that to him, but I trust that he got that somewhere. Either way, it's a little brass-colored rock with white chunks in it, and he started trying to shine a light through it. And your character, they didn't figure this out because they didn't bother asking you or anything, and you were just upset after he did this. Basically, it looked like you were looking, from their perspective, it just looked like there was light shining on the wall. From your perspective, it looked like you were looking into multiple suns right in front of you, and you were kind of blinded, and you got upset that they were trying to cheer you up by blinding you. So then you were sort of sulking in the corner for a while. So you were stuck like that for a while. I said like a day or two, and then you cheered up. And these guys were stuck in there for that long, and so were you. And then afterward, they decided to try, and they were arguing again, obviously. And Erosan got teleported to the material plane using banishment. And He
No,
was on.
I became a genie and I fulfilled 3 wishes. That's how
Yeah,
it was.
that's how it went. He basically transformed himself to look like a genie, and then he started granting wishes. But technically, he used the banishment spell to grant the wish. Either way,
Either way, I successfully granted 3 wishes.
yes. And during Erosan's banishment, he was on an island, and there were panthers on the island, and they were ready to pounce. One of them looked like it was going to pounce on him, and then he just took out his decant of endless water, I think it's called.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and he was going to spray the cat with water, and
Well,
just as
for lunch, if it like jumped at me, then spray of water, shoof, bye,
Yes.
kitty.
yes. But either way, that didn't end up happening. And he got teleported back, and when he shot the water, it hit the trap door on the top, and the
Oh
trap door
shit!
sort of flapped open a little bit, but
Oh.
nothing bad happened. No ash, no heat, nothing. And eventually, your character was actually the only one who noticed, because Erosan and Gorath were in an argument afterward. So your character noticed that nothing bad happened. So then the whole group decided to go up, except for Erosan, which eventually he came up, but he was sort of unsure of what to do. Either way, you guys went up. The trapdoor burst open, and you guys were on the plane of air. And Hazmish, which is your driver, seemed to have indicated that you were still on the plane of fire and still in a dangerous location.
Yeah.
So you guys sort of asked him why he was doing this, and he was basically saying that he didn't want to risk you guys interfering with whatever it is that he wanted to do, and he wanted to get you guys to the castle of the Jinn that you guys are friends with.
I
And
also read his mind.
yeah, you read his mind to find some of that information out. Either way, Lily, I took another creative decision there. You were kind of upset, and they were going to give him like hours of time to decide whether or not to agree to basically not harm them and go in chains, that sort of thing. And he said that he wanted some time, and Lily was just really angry that he was deceitful and impatient that he was taking so long, and I just said that Lily sort of stormed up to him, and he decided quicker than he wanted to that he would oblige you guys, go with your stipulations. And basically, you guys said that you wanted to restrain him somehow, but he basically offered a challenge that if you could find something that could restrain him, then he would be restrained. And you guys couldn't locate anything to restrain him. So, you still have a little bit of time before you have to restrain him. So you can still look if you wish. That was basically everything that happened. Lily sort of cheered up after realizing that she could order this large man around so cavalierly. So she sort of cheered up quite a bit. So you can take it from there, but I hope I didn't do anything that your character wouldn't have done. But
Sounds good.
either way, so we're back. What do you guys want to do? He at least said that you guys are going to take a couple more days to get there, but it seems like you have free reign of the chariot still, so you can go outside and make sure that he's not lying to you, that sort of thing. So
Yeah, Lily, I also thought told you that he was planning to kill the Jinn. That's what was in his mind.
Yeah,
What
that's
he was
why.
gonna do there.
That's part of why she was so upset. Because he was being such a meanie, obviously. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with that choice. There was one other thing, but it was mostly between Alatar and Goroth. Let's see. We're going to pick up after that happened, but Goroth and Alatar, they interacted with his patron, and all since neither or both of Giovanni or
I'll assume when I showed him or when I talked to him about the heart, I'll assume that I didn't like only to him probably.
all right. So fair enough. I'll just allow you guys to divulge that if you wish. I'll say.
I think that
So.
encounter pretty much ended. I'm just sitting at like 5 feet away from him.
Yeah, because he was basically. I'll let them reveal it if they want, but an interaction happened and
Sure,
it
you
ended
can say it, but like
that
the
much.
characters doesn't know it. Is what I'm meaning.
Yeah. Basically, an interaction ended awkwardly. That's all.
Okay.
So if you characters want to reveal that, then
It's
you
up to
can
them.
say whatever you want. So you guys are on the chariot. What do you guys want to do? And he said that he would agree if you could find something to restrain him, that he would be restrained. So he's sort of just lounging around, waiting to see if you find anything.
Well, you guys are gonna owe me big time if my bag breaks, but my bag of holding.
I mean, that's not gonna restrain him. It's gonna send him elsewhere.
No, I mean like around his hands that maybe he can cast with, because technically his hands are on another plane.
Which means he can just pull them out.
But
How
not
hard is it?
well, not if you like tie the rope around his wrist that he can just pull them out. So that's an option, but I doubt that will be a good idea.
I mean,
It
do you
sounds
have
like a plausible idea.
Do you have fireproof rope?
Do you?
I might. I check my bag. I infuse my rope with magic.
You can try to do that if you want. Let's see. What are you trying to do with it?
I'm just trying to cast wild magic on it to see if I can make it stronger or fire resistant.
All right. Well, 96. What's the result?
Yeah, the next time something attacks me, I take healing instead of damage.
So that's unlimited until something hits you?
No, for 1 minute, and then it fades.
Oh, 1 minute. Okay. I was gonna say, I was okay with it if that's what it said, but if that's not what it said, then
it
So
fades.
be it.
all right. So you suddenly feel strange, as if your insides are on your outsides, but you look at yourself, but nothing's changed physically, anyway. I'll say that indicates if you get hit, then you get healed. So you might recognize the feeling because it might have happened to you before, but that's up to you.
Well, I don't really have anything that is like, let's say, unburnable.
Yeah, and for Lily's sake, last time he said that he can basically summon fire whenever he wishes, so he challenged. That was what the challenge was based on. If you could find something that could resist his natural abilities, then he would submit to it.
Well, I do have one other thing, but I don't think that will be very likable or quite handy at all. My
What is it?
decant?
You could do something with it, but
Yeah, like every time he tries to cast something with fire, I can go like geyser and like shoot it off.
That also would mean that whoever has the decant would have to remain with him and be watching him constantly.
I mean, sure, you
That's
can
just-
keep it up either way.
Yeah,
That's
also-
it's just my suggestion. Like,
The Deacon has infinite
I mean,
charges, so it.
yeah.
I can.
Yeah,
the
but
this
you have
can
to
go
be
for
paying
forever.
Yeah. You have to be paying attention to him at all times. It's basically what he's saying. Like, if you're not paying attention to him, it doesn't matter if you have endless charges.
Yeah,
Well,
basically
okay.
what I'm trying to say is if you ignore him for even half a minute or half a second, then he might be able to burn through the rope in that time. If you have rope.
Well,
That sort of thing. So it's up to you.
let's see what could the Deacon do again. Let me just see here a moment. Deacon. Where is it in my list? Here it is. No. Where did it
And he
go?
might try to distract you, that sort of thing. So I'm just giving you an idea of what kind of rolls you might have to make if you decide to go that path.
You sure you guys want to let me do that?
I mean, I could always try to temporarily extinguish him.
Or you could. You can be very badly distracted. Lily, not you.
How about I'll cast my ropes around him, and you can have your decanter ready, unless we have any other ideas.
Well, let's just wait with that rope. Well, wait. The chariot.
Also, just to bring up, since you guys are just brainstorming, based on what he said, you don't have to come up with the idea right away, but when you guys get to the castle, then you have to have it in place, because that was what you agreed.
Yep.
So,
The chariot. Wait, Melody is. Wait, no. Well, the chariot isn't very flammable.
The chariots are his horses.
the chariot has horses attached, yes, and it didn't burn up while you guys were going, so...
Yeah, so if I take a piece of the chariot, make something to hold his hands in with, he can burn through it.
That
can
sounds
try
like
to
a
do
clever plan.
And make like a gallows.
Jeez.
It's pretty much what he's describing, though.
Or
Well,
whatever
more-
those things are that you have the hands and the head through that were in
Yes,
the...
but-
Yeah, that's gallows.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that more like. I was more thinking like you see, well, in those more.
How is it going to use a wood than gallows?
Yeah, well, I could do that, but he still could move his hands around and cast things.
But it'd be harder.
Well,
Like, I was thinking when you said that, those things that they would throw rotten fruit at people. I
yeah,
forget.
that's a gallows.
Is that a gallows? I
Yeah.
thought gallows were like, you put your head in and then the blade comes down.
Oh, that's guillotine.
It's a
Guillotine.
guillotine.
Guillotine,
Ah,
yeah.
there we go. Oh wait, gallows are where you hang somebody. Isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you mean? Oh, we mean the shame thing, shame
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
bob.
But I know what you're talking about, so you could make one.
Well, yeah, not completely. I was more thinking like something to contain his hands in more.
Well, while you're brainstorming, I'll look that up, because it's bothering me.
Definitely something of the Middle Ages. If your crime wasn't high enough for death, then you would be shamed.
Stocks! They're called
Oh,
the
that's
stocks.
right, the stocks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what they're called.
Well, the more you know.
Either way, what do you guys want to do?
Well, we could use the chariot to. Well, I can make something from the chariot, but I don't think there will be a bunch of the chariot left.
I think we kind of need the chariot for right now, too, to not die and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'll say that it would take you at least a day or two to make something like that.
As a player, like I have about 1% chance to temporarily extinguish him or properly tie him.
Depends. You're talking about wild magic?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Well, you can use that,
No,
but again,
no.
it's a 1 in 100 chance, and it might do
No,
something
we
else
instant
horrible.
ban that ID. No, just no. No, man. No.
Do you want to turn into a potted plant?
Even,
Yes.
No,
That
no,
has
no,
an
even
equally
worse.
likely chance to happen.
Yes.
Even worse. He has more luck teleporting us to another plane again than
Well,
doing what he
problem
wants.
Actually, he
turn
has an
into a
equal
potted plant.
chance. He has an equal chance of that happening.
Well, it happened in like.
Yeah, he rolled more than 1/100, but it's still 1 in 100 chance of that happening.
I'm not
Yeah.
trusting it either way.
True story, bro.
So either way, no matter what, if you were going to depend on his wild surge, it would be a 1 in 100 chance, unless if he has two things that do the same thing, which he does not.
I say no to that. I vote
I
no.
agree with the no.
Alright? Fair enough. It seems like Alatar's busy, so. I
Allie,
guess.
Do you perhaps have a plan?
I can't think of a better idea though, but no to the wild surges.
It's a great idea. It's like almost flawless. I just have to roll a dice and it works.
Yeah, he just has to roll the appropriate number on a D100.
Look, I need
Exactly.
97.
Perhaps. Well, this would be asking a lot from your patron.
Oh, you mean Alatar?
Yeah,
It's a possibility.
it's a possibility. Yes. Well, we could always ask. I mean, if we asked, then we could at least say we tried.
James, nobody can hear you.
That was off me. Sorry. Are there any extra reins on the chariot?
You haven't asked him. He only has one set on, but he might have extra sets in his supplies. But you haven't asked him.
Okay, I want to ask him if he has any extra reins on the chariot.
Alright, so you walk up and ask him. He turns to you and he goes, well, sometimes enemies damage our brains, so yes. And he reaches into one of the sackcloth bags that he has in his chariot, and he pulls out what looks like it almost looks like a whip that's attached to like both ends of the whip are attached to a metal bridle, and he just sort of throws it to you.
Cool. On the restraints.
You devious little bugger, huh? Alright, I agree.
Cool.
So he's willing to use those as his restraints. But obviously he's not going to be able to tie himself, so whoever is going to tie himself, that will determine the strength of what he has to break from if he were to try to break from it.
Sorry. Who has a better strength than me?
I don't.
Well, if you want the -1,
I have a
don't think
0, But I get advantage.
I don't
No!
think I don't think this group is very strong, so I think the paladin probably has the highest strength.
What's
have
your
a 14.
bonus?
I have a +2. I have a 14.
I have a +0, but I get advantage. So I
Okay, let's say
Pew!
this.
So she
No,
pushes.
no, not to him. I know exactly what he's gonna do.
He's
I'm
gonna
gonna
save
try.
us!
Yes,
No.
I'll tie him up.
Actually, Goroth. Oh, well, you already rolled. But in the future, can you not give this advantage to anybody, or is that just for you or attacks against you?
I can only use my tides on me on my checks, unless you want to change it. I'm fine
No,
with it.
I was just asking if that's what the basic rules were.
No, the basic rules is just for me, not for creatures attacking me or for other allies.
So creatures that are attacking you, you can't like make them re-roll.
No.
Okay.
But if I have to roll a dex save against a spell or something, I can re-roll. So it's basically all d20s.
Ah, okay, okay. I'm getting you now. Okay, so it's just stuff that affects you.
Yeah, so do
Okay.
you have to roll your wild search now after you have given yourself advantage?
Yes,
course.
he has to.
So
But
we could also have just
technically-
used the help action, but that's not as fun.
Yes. That's true. He could have done that. But either way, it's already happened. So what I'm gonna say is this happens when you're at the castle. And you have to tie him. So
Okay.
19 when you're at the castle. So technically not yet. So keep that in mind for when you guys reach the castle and you tie him up.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to do anything before you reach the castle?
Hug. What's his face? Ben's character.
All right, Goroth.
Gora, like yelling, "You saved us! You saved us! You saved us!"
Sure.
Can you? Oh, can I whisper?
I know. I've already teleported us away from danger twice.
Can my Lily wants to whisper? Can you turn back into an eagle, please?
Okay, that happens.
I could try.
I love you forever. I love you forever.
Okay, so this is the day before, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to turn into an eagle, which means first I'll use my disguise self to make myself look like an Aarakocra, which gives me my tights back, which means I can wild search, which is a 96.
God fucking damn it! Why?
So 96.
So if anyone attacks me within a minute, I get healed. And I'll keep doing this. Like that's my racial spell, and I have 5 more first level spells that I can use to change
So
shape.
as soon as Arizona starts noticing Gurf just starts casting spells out for the heck of it, he starts walking up to him, holding his gun like a bat.
All right.
Like,
so
you stop this right now!
As you do that, the spectral shield flows near me, blocking your gun.
Yes, that actually happens because he got 29.
But
no, that's 26. No, 29. Okay, 29 is different. I read the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So did you touch me with your gun or what?
Not yet. I'm just coming to you, like threatening you to stop right now.
What's around me?
It depends on where you started doing this. Are you inside or outside?
Lily, where did you approach me?
I don't know. Wherever we were.
We were outside, but I guess we had inside once we have our things settled for the events to come.
If you're inside, then there's the room, which is beds and whatnot. But if you're outside, then it's the sackcloth bags with supplies, the chariot exterior, clouds.
So you want to pick where we are, Lily, or?
I would assume we were outside.
Okay, so the sacks start to catch fire.
All right. Posmish just looks over and waves his hand and the fire goes away.
So Ursa just keeps coming to Gorv like, you stop that right now, you damn toad!
What? I'm just trying to turn into an eagle. I don't see
No!
an issue with that.
I
He's
don't
obviously going to do it again. It's going to happen.
I look to you and I say, "Why would you stifle my dreams?
Wait, what?
Why would you stifle my
No,
dreams?"
that, but Ursa goes like, wait, what? Did you? Oh my god, I'm out of here! I'm out of here! Ursa just runs downstairs.
Alright. Fair enough.
Not wanting to be teleported again.
For my next spell slot, I turn into a djinn and I say, "Now I shall grant your wish," and then it must work.
Alright. Let's see if you roll it.
11. What's that? Okay, so disadvantage on the next save. Just give me a moment. So I'll keep changing back to. Wait, I've used 2 of my slots and my racial, so I can do it 3 more times. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Let's see if one of them missed it. For the first one is a 45.
Alright, so we're going to do them in order just in case the
just in
previous
case.
one prevents it.
Yeah.
The next one.
So I get invisible and I make no sound whatsoever.
Alright. So,
Even if I try to speak, I don't make any sound.
So he vanishes. Any reaction from Lily?
I try to answer her, but she don't hear me.
Yeah. So then I assume you would try again because something weird happened. So.
Well, can he is actually the question.
Yes, he can. He can
I
cast
can do
spells.
anything.
Yeah,
So
but
when
the
I cast the
thing
next
is,
spell, I drop
he said
out
that
invisibility.
if he speaks, there comes no sound from him. So is the somatic component then fulfilled?
No. It's just while I'm invisible. Like while I'm invisible, if I cast a spell or anything like that, it ends.
Ah, okay.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
So I appear again, covered by a fiery shield.
Alright, so he comes back, and randomly there's this red aura around him.
Eagle! Wait, you're not an eagle yet. Why?
Well, it takes some time. I'm not quite used to becoming an eagle. And the nearest shadow creature gets teleported to us.
Oh, really? You got that one again?
Yes.
The shadow creature?
Yes, he got the one that teleports the nearest shadow creature to him, and it gets to roll initiative. So that means that... So...
Maybe I'll teleport a shadowy eagle. Who knows? Who knows?
You're not sure. You are on the plane of air, however, so that changes my options here. So... just give me a moment. Always not prepared for random encounters.
Ben is officially fired.
Fired as a player.
Actually...
Actually, is.
Don't worry, eventually God will smite me.
I have an interesting idea. So... Let's see. What would be appropriate? What's... Here it is. So...
Well, just saying, I don't think I will be in combat since I'm all the way downstairs away from the combat, so...
Technically, yes. So,
I'm just gonna grab a drink, so I'll be right back.
Actually, roll initiative just in case your character is interested.
Well,
from the noise and whatnot.
Well,
So-
I also just more gonna be sit with earmuffs on, like, not wanting to hear when the bad thing happens.
We'll roll just in case. So
That's
everybody roll.
Amazon.
Everybody roll.
And we have DT.
Excuse me.
No excuse for you.
And I'm gonna grab a drink, so be right back.
Alrighty.
Don't worry, I'll turn into an eagle during this fight. It's all planned.
He might. It's a very minute possibility, but it's still a possibility. Let's see. +1 for him. So I need my D's. My D's. Got 6. Well, obviously, because he's not prepared.
Neither
And this
am I.
isn't the enemy that one's for. That's
Okay.
for Cosmish. And let's see. They have a +2. Actually, I'm gonna give them a little more because it's a modified version. So +4. Oh well, that didn't matter anyway.
You're still before me.
So I guess you're just taken aback because you're like, I'm trying to turn into an eagle here. It's not working. So there we go. Did I put them in the right order? Yeah. Okay. So Lily, as he's trying to change into an eagle, and you're sort of just watching him in anticipation, behind his head, a blackish, purplish, how should I describe this? It's sort of like a puff appears behind him, and suddenly you just see a creature with blackish, purplish body. I'll say it's entirely the same color, its entire body. And it sort of just curls up from like a crouched position almost. It's sort of in a crouched position originally, and you just see and then you just sort of look behind him, and you see it just sort of curling up into a standing position. It has these black, devilish-looking bat wings and a long, pointed nose, and coming up from it is this black, waving, sort of looks like heat coming off of a hot street or something, and it's sort of just waving in front of him, or his entire body technically. And he's got these little spindly arms with claws on them, and he sort of just stands up, his legs really skinny, his body also skinny as well, and he has these very long pointed ears, long jutting out jaw, again extremely long nose, and he just sort of stands up behind him and just sort of is looking at him menacingly. What do you want to do?
Yeah, you look like a booger! Do I have banish? I don't. How far away from me is it?
Well, you're standing directly next to Goroth's space, so you two are technically in melee with each other, even though it doesn't matter. And it is in melee with Goroth behind him, so you got a 5-foot space between you two.
Okay. You look like a booger! And then I'm going to attempt to attack it with my battle axe.
Alright. It's just sort of standing there. You got Goroth in your way, so you just sort of step around him into a different space.
Does a 15?
Alright. 15. That hits.
Cool. I'm also going to do... not Branding Smite. What's the other paladin thing I could do?
You can do smites on each hit 2d8 and +1d8 per spell levels, and you can use your bonus action to do other smites. So you can smite twice on the same attack and then once on the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Divine Smite, cool. Is it a fiend or undead?
Fiend or undead? No, it is not.
Lame. Okay, I'm gonna cast it as a 2nd level spell.
Alright. So you gotta roll the damage on that one.
Give me an extra 17.
Alright. So,
how's it looking?
let's see. First off, I have to do a calculation because I'm technically modifying a creature. So, right, there we go. That works. So, to keep track of that. Okay, there we go. Now, you dealt 17 plus 6.
Correct.
Are you doing specific types of damages just in case?
Yeah, the first one is going to be just slashing damage. The second one, what Divine Smite does.
Radiant.
I'm pretty sure it does radiant, yeah. So it just seems like it's doing normal damage. I just wanted to. So, it's not bloodied. So technically, it's unhurt, hurt, bloodied, and dead. Those are the ones that you get without using a medicine check. So it looks hurt, but it's not bloodied. So you're in between there.
Okay, I will attack it again.
All right.
I have returned.
Welcome back. I'm trying to kill something.
Uh-oh.
I'm assuming I hit.
Yeah, 23 hits.
And then I'm going to, since I've connected again, I'm going to use a 1st level spell to do the same.
Go ahead.
Total of 16.
16. Still not bloodied. But it's getting hurt. Like, you're doing damage to it, but it's not bloodied or in dying state yet. So so that's your turn, I would assume?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So, I'm not going to re-describe it for Adosan's sake, because he hasn't seen it. So, whose turn is it next? I have calculators in front of me. Alatar.
Yay.
So, where are you during this? Actually, I'm going to get you to roll a d2 to determine where. I think the only way to do that is by typing it in the chat to get a d2.
Yes, just roll 1d2.
/ roll 1d2.
Right.
So / roll. And then 1. Yes, he just put it in there without the period. Alright, so you are inside, because the lower number is less in your favor.
Of course.
So you're inside, and you hear, "It looks like a booger!" And noises coming from above of some sort of weird sounding something getting hurt.
Okay, then I will head towards the noise.
Alright, I'll say you reach about the top of the stairs, and you see the creature I described, the bat wings,
Booger.
and yes, the booger. Large bat wings and spindly arms and legs and very thin body, its head elongated, its nose sticking far out from its face.
Hey.
Looks almost like its head almost looks like a stereotypical goblin head.
How far away is it from me?
It's about 50, no, 40 feet? No, 30. 30.
Okay.
And it's up some stairs and on a platform above.
But I can hit it. Alright.
Yeah, you still see it, so if you see it, you can hit it, possible.
Possibly.
So you can roll to hit whatever you want to roll.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever attack you want to do. Obviously, those would be the easiest choice.
Don't forget you have a fixed pistol. I don't know if you have ammunition.
You're not
Just
sure.
turn to load it. Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't. Did you want to use that? Just in case you didn't think of that?
No, I'll stick with the other blast for now.
Okay. Alright. So, 20 and 21 hits. So they both hit. Alright, so technically, even if you were rolling at disadvantage, you would still hit. 10 and 6. Alright, at this point, it is now, parts of it are sort of becoming more wispy and almost less connected to each other, if that makes sense. It looks almost like it's emanating smoke, and parts of it are becoming less corporeal, if you will, as you're hitting it, and sort of like its wings have holes in them now, and but sort of like smoke is still flowing through them, so you can see the outline of them, but that's how it's getting damaged. So like its chest also has little holes where there's no smoke, but smoke is also filling through it, that sort of thing.
Cool.
And it just sort of stumbles back, and it looks down the stairs towards you. The sound it makes as it looking towards you.
Huh?
Anything else? I mean, I assume you used all your stuff.
That's pretty much it. That's all I can do now.
Alrighty. Ado-san, have you returned?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, I'll allow you to determine whether or not your character heard that. Like, if you're purposely trying not to hear, then you might not have heard what's going on.
Yeah, I'm purposely trying not to hear, but I do hear the thing about the green booger and go like, well, weren't there?
Alright, so what do? You just stay there?
Just stay there. Just keep on working on DT, trying to get his mechanism completely fixed, which I broke last time.
Alright, so DT, he's just going to remain still and allow you to fix him still?
Yeah.
You do notice, though, that his head sort of tilts up towards the noise, and you notice his visual sensors focusing to see if he can see anything, but he doesn't. So he just looks back at you.
Yeah, leave them. They're trying to get an eagle.
Either way, he remains because you haven't. He doesn't know that there's any danger yet.
Yeah.
So, Hosmish. So, Hosmish, he's sort of holding the reins of his horses, and he glances back, and he says, "Summon another thing, did you?" And he keeps steering the horses. He doesn't want to interfere unless if he really has. So that's his turn. Enemy turn. So the creature. Okay, so that's not relevant at the moment. Once per day. No, that's not going to be helpful at the moment. So here we go. This is what it's gonna do, because this is the most useful thing it can do. It sort of reels back and sort of flaps its wings a little bit to try to get back a little bit, but it's not moving out of the space that it was in, because it doesn't want to get attacked. But it just sort of steps back like less than a step and flaps its wings and sort of reels its head back, and it sort of glances down towards Alatar, sort of considering which one he's going to attack, but this particular attack is better aimed at the two in front of him. So Goroth, you sort of spin around and you see this creature just sort of looming over you a little. Well, not really. You're probably a little bit taller than it, technically. So it's still looming, though. It's still like trying to hunch over and look menacing. And it just sort of breathes in and it coughs forward. And I need both you and Lily to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. There. 10.
So, is Lily still not here?
Just getting a snack.
Yes, I read that, but I didn't know if she came back.
So I don't think so.
By the sounds of it, no. Have to find her sheet. Oh, she rolled.
Anybody within 10 feet of me will get a +4 to their roll.
14. Or if I have a 14, I'm gonna bend my luck. So I have if I have a 14, I have a 16 now.
Okay. 16. And Lonnie has a 17. So
No,
both
21.
Yes, a 21, technically. Or does hers have the 4
Or
added?
do you have it
It's already added in.
Okay.
So it's a 17.
Okay. So either way, you guys sort of recoil back as you see a bunch of ash and smoke billow out from the creature, and you just sort of cover your eyes, and it has no effect.
Wow.
Luckily. It was trying to blind you, but it didn't work. So, Goroth, you see this creature, it just billowed a bunch of ashen smoke towards you. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna misty step away from it.
Alright, yeah, technically you were in melee with it, so you can do that.
And I'm gonna shoot a 2nd level chromatic orb. With advantage, of course.
Which element are you using?
I would use thunder.
Alright, fair enough. That happens, and 27 hits.
So the air gathers around my staff and shoots out with a loud boom.
Alright, fair enough. So 16 plus 14.
20 thunder damage.
Alright. 20. It is not looking too good. It sort of recoils back and falls to one knee.
As I do that, I notice something in my forehand that I poke it, because I have a small pair of horns now.
Interesting. So they start off small, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Perhaps they'll grow in time.
Perhaps. Alright, so that happens. Anything else?
That's my turn, because I used a bonus and spell.
Okay.
And yeah. So
Okay.
I'm done.
Lily. You see that the creature has fallen to one knee, and sort of just looking at you angrily.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hit it.
Fair enough.
20 hits.
Yes.
I do 8 damage.
All right. It's still up.
Jesus. Okay, so I'm going to attack it again.
Okay.
16 does
Yes.
4, 6 slashing, and I'm going to use one of my.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to use one of my spell slots to do some more damage.
Okay.
Another 15. Wow.
All right. And as you strike it in the shoulder, like near the clavicle area, it sort of comes apart a little bit more, and it sort of tries to rise up and lash out towards you with its hands, and then you just sort of swing again, and it cleaves it into multiple pieces, and it just sort of falls to the ground, billowing smoke, and you notice that there's this black, inky gunk evaporating into the air along with the smoke. And it just sort of lays on the ground.
Okay. Lily is gonna say, That's not normal! That's not normal!
Goroth, you witness this happen.
Yeah,
And
this black stuff has
you
been...
witnessed it happen as well.
Yeah, these black creatures have been following me for quite a while.
Why do they want you? That's not normal!
Well, I'm far from normal, I suppose.
That's still weird.
It's not that weird.
A lot of weird.
Some weird.
A lot of weird.
Some weird.
And all right, as that weird argument continues to happen, the creature goes, and a bunch of smoke fills the area within 5 feet of it.
Oh, shoot.
You cannot see what is inside the sphere.
We're gonna die!
Well, if we were in real danger, I would have teleported us out of here.
You're my hero!
Alright, Alatar, you witness this happen as well, the big of smoke. And you also notice that Adosan hasn't paid attention. If you want to let him know that something's happening, it's up to you.
I'll let him know.
Alright,
Hey, Edo's-san is it seems to be disappearing and it's pooping into smoke.
I guess he would fail. I have no clue what he's talking about, just thinking that he failed, the eagle failed.
Yeah, so Alatar, you know that this is a creature that is not Goroth, and Adosan seems to be thinking that you're talking about Goroth.
Oh, by the way, it's not Goroth. It's some big booger thing.
Oh, well, then he tried to make one. Still, it failed.
Alright, that argument
I'm just
happens.
really glad that he didn't teleport us again.
Either way, that happens. And within the cloud of smoke, about 30 seconds later, since you guys are just having silly arguments, you hear from within the sphere of something struggling or in pain.
I cast detect thoughts.
Alright, let's see. It does have an above 8 intelligence. Therefore, It does have a mind that you can purchase on without just getting random gibberish or things that aren't helpful. You get to a mind that says hurts. Can't see.
I tell him he's in a cloud of smoke, that's why he can't see.
And it hears you talking to it, and it goes, "Who? Where?
I'm just Gora.
My body is around me."
I'll reach into the smoke to try and help him out.
All right. You feel a claw grab onto you, and since you're willingly taking this, it automatically hits for 15 damage.
15?
Feel
Okay.
a sharp claw just lash out towards you and then grip your arm.
I have to make a con save to keep my spell, which I'll do with advantage.
All right. 16. That's above.
Plus 4, so 20, so it is.
So 82. What does 82 say?
What weapons are close to me?
There's your staff, and there's the battle axe. I don't know what the wording is. Is it the nearest weapon or the nearest weapon that isn't yours?
Yeah, so Lily, your battle axe, air starts to float around it.
Does it matter if it's a magical weapon or just the first weapon?
A weapon, so you basically deal thunder damage for a little while, for an hour.
And how?
Yeah, so basically he's giving you, like, I don't know if it's a spell, but, like, Fire Tongue? Is that a spell?
That's a magic item, but basically it's just a dice of thunder damage for an hour.
He's basically minimally enchanting your weapon for a little while.
Let's go screw stuff up.
So either way, Goroth, you felt the creature just grab onto your arm.
I tell him, stop that. I'm trying to get you out of the smoke. What are you doing?
And do you pull your arm away?
Do I have the creature?
The creature is gripped onto your arm.
Yeah, I'll pull it with the creature then.
Alright. And it pulls out, and it looks almost exactly the same as it did before, except now it's just black rather than purplish black. And it looks around and goes, enemies! And it's going to attack you unless if you do something. So I'll say that we're back in initiative order. And it just took its turn to hit you. So, It is Goroth's turn.
Let's see, what does that take? I'm just gonna read the spell. Yeah, I'll try to, because I'm still concentrating on it, I'll try to probe its memory to see if there's anything I could say to calm it.
Okay. So it has to roll...
Wisdom save.
Okay, wisdom, which is a 0.
Before you roll, I'll just make it a disadvantage because I can.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's that one. That's how you were giving disadvantage. Okay. So, it has a 0, so... Boop. Oh, doesn't need to roll anymore. So, what do you want to know? Mind is your oyster. You can literally know anything about it now.
Yeah, why it's attacking us, and if there's anything it finds calming or.
Okay, so I'll let you get the first thing. We'll start with that. It is. It's why it's attacking you. It is viewing you as a threat. It was unconscious, and it had its death knell, which is the black explosion around it, which means that it's supposed to be dead. So it's entirely confused. And it was unconscious, like I said, and you guys are just surrounding it. So it's assuming that you guys are a threat. A way to calm it? Well, the first thing that you get might be useless to you. It likes smoke. It's attracted to smoke. And it enjoys partaking in any smoke that is nearby it. Being part of the smoke.
Okay, so with my bonus action, I'm gonna turn into mist or smoke, and move like just like 5 feet further back. Like I'll dissipate in smoke and then be further back.
Alright. So it looks at the smoke. It's sort of a light grayish smoke, whereas its body is black smoke. And it sort of just moves towards it, and it goes. Why you do this?
We can make
this
smoke.
Is what you hear in your mind. Nobody hears anything. Nobody hears this except for you because you're in its mind.
We're trying to show you that we're not gonna kill you, but if you keep this up, then you might turn into smoke again.
And then it sort of glances over towards Hosmish, and it goes, and it just sort of flaps and flies away.
Goodbye, little creature.
And Hosmish sort of turns around, and he goes, snaps his fingers, and then the creature goes, and sort of falls onto the clouds, and it's just sort of laying down on it.
Before that happens, is he like casting a spell on the creature?
Yes, he is.
Because I'm gonna counterspell it. I don't want the creature to die.
Alright. You're not sure what spell he's using, but go ahead.
I'll use my highest level, which is 4th level. So, counterspell.
Alright, you still have to roll.
Okay. With my spell save bonus, that's +8. So. And I have my tides back, so I'm gonna roll with advantage. So.
Alright. $25. I think that could dispel any spell, basically.
It could dispel a 9th level, yeah.
So, yeah, the spell doesn't work. So, before it falls, before that actually happens, like you foresee that happening, and then you counterspell it, and that doesn't happen, and it just continues to fly away. And Hosmish looks down at you unapprovingly. He says, "It's an elemental. I wanted to control it."
Oh. Well, it should have its freedom. You can ask it nicely next time. Maybe it will follow you.
And since you wasted his powerful spell, he is not going to try to do that again.
Okay, is there anything dead on this ship, like creature?
Dead creatures?
Yes.
The closest thing to a dead creature is the cloud of smoke, which just dissipated.
Oh, there's still
Okay,
another
so
dead.
basically the closest corpse to me rises for 1d6 days.
Okay.
Well, technically, the closest corpse there is in the bag of holding of Aeroson. If
Yeah,
you
but that's
count...
not close to me. That's on a different plane, and that's far away.
Yeah, separate planes are spatially and dimensionally wonky, I'll say. So it's the nearest thing on the plane of air. So not on the chariot. There's nothing dead.
Then have fun.
At least not complete, which I'm gonna veto. Incomplete zombies. Like the meat that was cured in that bag would be technically the closest dead thing, and I'm not gonna raise that back. I'm just not gonna do that because that would be silly. So, let's see. I'm gonna say that it's teleported to you as part of it, because if it was just raised where it was and never saw you, then it wouldn't be helpful in any way.
It would be a wandering zombie looking for.
Yeah, wandering zombie for 6 days and then it just dies. That's not helpful. So, let's see. Suddenly, you witness as behind, and technically I'll just allow it to be on the chariot. You see suddenly a pile of bones just appear out of nowhere. It just sort of goes pop, and then you see a pile of bones. And then you just see them start to move and rise delicately. And then you see what looks like a whirlwind moving them around, but you don't see any wind or feel any wind. It's just sort of like they're dancing around magically. And then suddenly you have a skeletal bird person standing next to you. Skeletal wings and everything. Just sort of looking at you.
Oh, greetings. Do you speak?
And it says, "My command." And you see the beak moving. And it speaks in a language that you understand, most likely common.
Okay. Yeah. Why have you come here?
Sort of just stares at you blankly. Seems like that's the only phrase it can say.
Well, just enjoy yourself on the ship. We're traveling to a castle.
Just sort of looks back and forth and then just stares at you. It's a skeleton and it's under your control entirely. So when you say that, it doesn't know what to do.
I tell it to do whatever it wants.
And what it wants to do is whatever you want it to do, so that's kind of
contradictory.
Yes, it doesn't know how to react, so it just negates that order and then just continues to look at you.
Okay, I'll assume that he wants to look at me, which he can do. I'm not gonna give him orders. I'm just gonna say he can do what he wants.
Right? So whenever you try to walk away from it, it sort of stands close to you like a bodyguard.
Sure.
And it's waiting for an order, but otherwise it's just going to follow you.
Oh, I'll...
How is replacement? Can we call this guy TD?
TD?
Yeah!
Do you want to be named TD? I asked the skeleton. I tried to shoot him a message this time to see if he can respond.
Your message doesn't find purchase on a mind.
Okay. I think he's mindless. I couldn't locate his mind.
When you were looking at the bones, you didn't see any brain, so that might have something to do with it. And it sort of just looks at you, and as you're trying to give it a name, it says, "Your wish is my command."
I think he's named Your Wish. Or Wish. We can call him Wish.
That's a stupid name.
That's what he told me. I don't know who named him.
His mom.
Yeah.
It just stands there. It doesn't do anything.
I tell him, is your name Wish? Do this or do this. So I'm commanding him to do either this or this.
Okay, I wasn't looking at your webcam, so what were you doing?
Thumbs up or thumb down. I'm commanding him to do either.
Sort of, it seems sort of confused, because it seems like it doesn't know, and then it does an order that it thinks that might work for what you're asking, and it does this.
You have to do either this or this. Basically, thumbs down or thumbs up. I tell him again.
I'll be switching machines.
Alrighty.
Okay.
It goes. It just does the same thing.
Yeah, don't take his name as Wish.
It's trying to say I don't know, but you didn't give it an option for that. So So it's just trying to approximate something based on what orders you gave it. Basically, it's an undead creature, so it has no memory of its past. So
Okay,
I go up-
what? Oh, okay, what were you saying?
I go up to it and I poke its face. Are you stupid?
it just literally sounds like you're poking like a skull that's completely hollow.
Other guy! He's got no brains.
Yeah, I know. His brains didn't come here with him. He must have left it behind.
Why aren't you equipped with brains?
Tunk, tunk, tunk.
I throw it back.
Throw it back. But it's there now. If it wants to go back, it can go back.
It has no wishes other than your wish, which is confusing to it.
So either way, do you like my new friend?
He seems okay.
Yeah. He doesn't talk much, though.
It's true.
I talk a lot, it evens out.
Fair point.
It just sort of glances at this two conversing creatures that it's trying to desperately gain an order, and it has none.
Sit down!
It sort of glances over to the small creature and then looks at Goroth expectantly.
If you want to sit down, you can sit down. But you don't have to.
It just sort of stares blankly forward, its eyeless sockets, just sort of looking forward. And then it looks back at Goroth.
Sit down!
It looks over to her, and then back to you.
I don't think he wants to sit down.
Back to tapping. Are you stupid?
You haven't told it that it's allowed to listen to her, so it's not taking orders from her.
No, I'm basically saying he can do what he wants to do, not what the other people order him to do. So that's what I'll keep
It doesn't
doing.
have that complex of a brain, and your character doesn't realize that, but it doesn't know what you're trying to get it to do.
That's fair. It's still what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it just sort of stands there, unless if you tell it to do otherwise.
Oh,
Okay,
I just come down and I show it to Alatar.
alright. Well, he's not here, so...
Oh, yeah, he's
Come
there.
down the stairs.
Alatar is there.
I'm here.
It's,
Oh, Alatar is here. Okay. So, Alatar, you witness as
I thought
Goroth starts escorting this skeletal bird creature into the chariot.
I found a new friend.
Of
It
course
just
you
sort
would.
of looks at whoever's speaking.
Of course you did. Don't you mean that's Lily's thing?
Well, you like little things?
I'm gonna make myself a sandwich, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
So, skeletal bird creature is standing in front of you.
Well, apparently he's already our friend.
Just sort of, it has no eyes or eyelids or anything, so it's just sort of, its skull tilts towards you when you speak.
Sorry.
Doesn't do anything else.
No, I'm cool with it right now. Like it.
Alright. It looks at Goroth expectantly.
Well, if you want to talk to it, I think he's a good listener, but he doesn't talk much.
Oh, like me.
It repeats its phrase. Your wish
I
is
tell
my
him,
command.
you want to go talk to Alatar? You can do that if you want.
And it stares blankly forward and is confused by his directive and then dismisses it.
Well, I'm assuming you conjured him up, so it's your bird, so you have fun with that.
Yeah, I will. I mean, he seems nice enough. I haven't met too many dead creatures. It seems dead at least. I'm gonna do a nature to see if I know what, or I
What it
do,
was.
or if I can get any more information about it.
Well, you know that it was a skeleton and then it animated somehow. You're not sure how, but it happened.
Okay, it kind of just dropped onto the ship. Same as the other creature, but he got away.
Did it get away?
Yeah, it didn't do anything harm or bad for. It only scratched my arm a little.
Oh, okay.
Well, it tried to
fine then.
harm you, but either way. So, what do you guys want to do? Anything else? I assume you don't want to show it to Erosan, and Erosan isn't paying attention. So,
Yeah, I suppose the next day, or
alright. We'll skip forward a little bit, I guess. Though I would rather everybody be here when that happens, but either way.
yeah, so we can find some random stuff to do.
If you want.
I ask Altar, have you seen many undeads?
Have I seen what?
If you have seen many undeads.
I've seen a few in my day.
Yeah, you've seen the random reanimated corpse that was just wandering around.
Yeah.
Does all of their bones float like this, or is it just because we're in the plane of air?
It's because we're in the plane of air. Usually the bones are connected.
Huh.
Bones are technically a little bit connected, but there's no like sinew or anything to connect them. So technically they are sort of just floating there.
Well, there's more space because we're in the plane of air.
Alright, fair enough.
Oh, I wonder how long it will stay here. Usually think the things I bring out, they disappear, but it's been here for quite a while now.
At this point, I'll say it's been here for at least 10 minutes. And it looks over to you every few minutes and says, "Your wish is my command."
So you have a dead talking bird genie. Got it.
Yes. So go do something.
What do you wish? It actually just phrase.
Just do something. I don't care. You can do what you want.
It's still looking at you expectantly.
I can't make sense of this either. It just stands there. I've told it many times things it could do if it wanted to, but it doesn't listen.
Actually, Alatar, make an intelligence check.
Oh, this ought to be good.
No. You haven't really
Stupid
studied.
does.
Yeah, your field of study is not necromancy, so you're not entirely sure why it's not doing anything.
Yeah. I always fall asleep in that class.
Yeah, I never did that storyline either.
It's just sort of standing in a menacing-looking position, kind of like what a Terminator would look like if it was just standing still. And it's just looking towards whoever's speaking at that moment. And if no one's speaking, then it's looking at Goroth.
Well, do you want to pass the time with us by doing something? I've heard of other games than just cards.
Your wish is my command.
No, I'm asking Avatar.
It says it anyway.
I asked the skeleton if he knows any other games then.
Besides cards.
It sort of just glances up as if it's trying to access memory. And it says... It just sort of has this low guttural throat noise for a moment. And then it goes... No.
Oh. Well, that's a shame. You should try Yahtzee sometime.
And since this is the first thing that it can gain an order from, it goes, what is Yahtzee?
Oh no, that was dice, not cards.
That was the dice, yeah. I won that one. Did I win?
Yeah, you won. But either way, do you want to play something else? How about arm?
It says again, what is Yahtzee?
It's a game.
Dice.
You play it with other people.
It seems like it's starting to gain information from what you're speaking, and it says, how do you play?
Ask our son, he knows the rules.
It turns its head towards
That'll happen
Alatar.
when he gets back.
Erosan or Alatar?
No, Arasan. So that'll happen when he gets back.
It seems to actually know who you're talking about, since it seems to be partially sharing mental capacity with you. And it actually turns to him and goes over to him.
Okay. So yeah, how about it? Do you probably want to try arm wrestling or something?
Arm wrestling. I always lose at that.
I'm not as strong as I look.
I got a -1 strength. You're gonna win. We can try.
Yeah, I'll probably win because I'm gonna cheat by using Chaos Magic anyways to see if something funny happens.
Translation says, look at my weak arms, and then Goroth says, well, I have magic anyway.
You know, I never could beat any other slotty in strength. They just used magic. You can try it too if you want to do a magic arm wrestling.
One day I can try that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm basically saying cheats are allowed. Let's do arm wrestling.
Fair enough. So what do you guys go to the night table and you take the vase off and set it to the side, and you put it between yourselves, and then you sort of lean in. What are you guys going to do? So you sort of are getting ready to start. What do you guys want to do to prepare, if any?
Let's see what I can do.
Basically saying, since you're going to use magic, if you want to cast an ability on yourself to make it easier for you, then you can do that.
Would it be possible to like prepare shocking grasp just a tiny bit without doing damage? Just like my hand is a bit electric.
You can try to do that. Let's see what Alatar is doing. Any plans yet?
You can cast magic. It's fine. Whatever you want to try.
Do you have any spells that might make this situation a lot more funny?
Yes.
That's what I'm looking at right now. What do I have?
I know you have sleep. That would work.
I do have sleep.
That would make the situation a lot more funny.
You would probably not target me first because I have 64 HP remaining if it's the same day.
Yeah, well, Alatar doesn't know that. He doesn't know exactly how hardy you are.
True, I do.
But
you do?
there are other spells that you can use that might be useful.
I mean, you could always just roll all 8s, and I fell asleep during the arm wrestling. So it's possible.
Or you could just use Eldritch Blast and blast his hand down. That might work.
You could try that.
If worse comes to worse, you can always just resort to Eldritch Blast. This is what I'm trying to say.
Or you can try and do it fairly. I mean, I did say magic was allowed, so probably think I'm gonna use magic.
You probably would, knowing you. Let's try sleep.
Sleep? Okay. So at your level, because it's it starts with 5d8, so it's 7d8, 9d8, 11. Yeah, you should have 13d8, I believe. No, 9d8. No, 11. Yeah, 11d8s. Because it's plus 6d8s, because you're casting a level 4. So you could make me fall asleep, I think.
Alright,
Yeah.
So you start preparing Shocking Grasp, but you're not ready to use it yet because the fight hasn't, or the match hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
And he just sort of waves his hand in front of you. Go ahead and cast Sleep.
What level am I again?
11d8s.
Yeah, so you're casting it with 11d8s.
A lot of D8s.
That's a lot of d8s.
Yeah.
You're not at full hit points, by the way. You're still damaged from the smoke.
Yeah, it took 14, I believe. 50. That's not enough.
Of course not.
However, it still helps. You still feel a bit drowsy for a second as the match starts. So the match has started. Do you want to cast Shocking Grasp on him?
Yes, of course. Or maybe on myself to wake up, but on him.
Alright, so go ahead and cast that if you want.
Shocking grasp. I'm assuming you're not wearing any armor, so this will be normal. So 23.
Alright, that hits him.
Oh yeah.
No, not really doing damage, so he probably has. But like that's how much I would distract him, hit points wise. So
Yes. I'll say that it does do 2 hit points worth of damage, but you're not trying to kill him or anything. So
Okay.
it does do that, so it sort of jolts you back a little bit. But however, you're both going to have to roll at disadvantage. So it's a strength roll at disadvantage for both of you.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my tides to make it normal.
Okay. Because you're drowsy, which is why I was giving you
Yeah.
disadvantage.
It's fair. I almost fell asleep, so. And I rolled 19 out of 20.
Alright,
You still beat me
so
with a crit. I mean, you only need 2 of them.
you could. So go ahead, Alatar, roll a strength. 4. Unfortunately, Alatar, you weren't expecting that jolt of electricity to go through your arm, and he just surprised you and ducked your hand down onto the table. And as that happens,
a doppelganger of myself appears. He pays us respects as he walks upstairs. As he starts walking upstairs.
Alright, so you hear... And again, another guy appears. And does he look exactly like you at the moment?
Exactly like me at the moment. So he has the small hairs and horns and everything.
Alright, so you
he's
see
bigger
another
than the
Goroth appear. And he goes... A Jew. And he starts walking away.
Alrighty then.
And he walks up the stairs, just nonchalantly. And then you hear Hosmish go, "Another one! This one's leaving. Never mind." Apparently he just walked off the chariot and onto the clouds that he could walk on and continued walking. So apparently he's got somewhere to go.
In the background. The sun was setting.
He just had somewhere to go. You're not sure where, but he had somewhere to go. Perhaps he'll come back later, you don't know.
Or the other one. Or they both will meet up. Eventually there'll just be an army of me. Different. All of them are different too, because I keep changing.
Yeah. And
like
I'm just curious. Is it the creature doppelganger, so technically it could change into something else, or is it an exact copy of you?
I was thinking like a copy of me when I made it, and I used doppelganger to make it easier. So it's up to you, really.
So for now, I'll leave it as it's just a copy of you. But if it becomes useful later that it's a doppelganger, also.
If you want to use it as a doppelganger, or if it's a doppelganger, I want it to not be able to change away from the form it currently has.
Oh, okay. Then it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Either way, it just sort of walks away. Is he not back yet? God, waiting for him. Let's see. So, Lily, what are you doing during this?
Egging everybody on.
Of
Right.
course.
So what do you want them to do?
Shoot. Yeah, when the doppelganger comes in, I'd like to egg him on. I'd like to just egg everybody on in general, not really care who comes out on top. Just, yeah, see that? Look at him looking at you cross-eyed.
All right. The doppelganger, as it's leaving, sort of just glances at you.
He's cross-eyed.
It shakes its head and then just jumps off the chariot.
Jerk.
And just starts walking.
Isn't he supposed to die?
Just keeps walking.
How's he alive?
And keeps walking.
Different. My voice sounds different.
It keeps walking.
How?
And it's walking on the clouds, which are walk-onable, as you're aware.
He's just walking on sunshine.
Whoa.
Alright, since he's back, Ado-san, a skeletal bird man, which is the Aarakocra that you met before, a skeletal version of one of those walks up to you and says, "What is Yahtzee?"
Asa just jumps up and jumps up and just whacks its head off with the end of his gun and goes like, oops.
It asks again, "What is Yahtzee?"
It's a game.
What are the rules?
Well, there are quite a few rules.
What are the rules?
So, if I'm gonna explain now, we would be maybe 30 minutes further.
Yeah, I'll say that your character explains it if he wishes to.
He explains it, but he isn't too sure about every little rule.
And it seems like it's genuinely interested in everything that you're saying.
So, Erison just walks up to the head, picks it up, and then puts it back on the rest of the skeleton.
It allows it. It didn't seem damaged. It just, the head went away.
Yeah. So Erison just sits down by the chair and just looks at DT and then back to the skeleton. So, was it all?
Let's play Yahtzee. It says to Rosan. So you have a skeleton standing in front of you that wants to play Yahtzee.
Well, let me just finish up then.
Your wish is my command. And it just stands there.
So Erison just watches it and slowly turns back to DT's arm to finish it up.
And it will stand there until you are finished. Alright, so is everybody back?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Now we will skip to the next part. So, Edo-san,
Who won the arm wrestling, by the way?
it was you.
Okay, I was
wasn't
just
me.
unsure if I got the upper hand or if I won. Okay.
Yeah, you cast Shocking Grasp, and his arm just went, and he just sort of lost instantly.
So we have had a rest now, right?
It is currently nighttime,
Okay.
and you guys, I'll say that you had the equivalent of a long rest between when you were casting your spells, just so that way you have your spells, because I want you to have your spells.
Okay.
So you guys had a long
just
rest.
keep wasting them again, you know.
That's true. Yeah, I shouldn't be giving you those. You keep wasting them. Either way, he says, "We've arrived." Even though he said it was going to be a few days, it's now nighttime, and he yells down, "We've arrived."
All right, so I'll get back upstairs.
All right, and your undead friend is still attempting to play Yahtzee with Aro-san.
Yeah, after Erison finished up, he just started playing Yahtzee a few rounds with the skeleton.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I needed you to roll a tinkering check.
Yeah. So, tinker, 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 where are my tinker tools? There are my tinker tools.
23 is sufficient to make the mechanism work properly, though you're not sure what effect it's going to have.
Yeah, so then I just close the armor, but make sure that it can just, the flap / panel can just fall off.
Alright, so you basically screw it back on. It's not going to come off. Unless if it sustains enough damage, which
Yeah.
would be anything on his body.
Yeah, so I need to reinforce that.
You can do that later, but
Yeah.
like
Without-
anything on his body, if it sustains enough damage, it'll fall off or break or whatever.
Yeah. So now it's time to roll a few rounds of Yahtzee.
Alright. The skeleton mimics your movements almost perfectly, and since it now knows the rules, it actually reacts relatively appropriately, although kind of mechanically. If it does well, it goes, "Oh no!" And if it does, or if it doesn't do well, it says that. And if it does well, then it says, "Hooray!"
Alison is not creeped out at the slightest about this.
It's kind of mechanical, but it's just an undead version of a machine, really, at the moment, at least.
Instead of a construct, it's undead.
Yes. Either way, so Goroth, you went upstairs, and you didn't try to retrieve your undead servant.
No, he can come if he wants to.
All right, so it currently has no orders since it already played Yahtzee, almost to the completion of the game. But then you just sort of said it won because it was sort of mechanically trying to make the dice come up what it needed. So it was actually quite good.
Yeah.
So you just conceded to it, and now since it has done its objective, which was play a game, which was the only thing that it could get from Goroth as an order. So it played a game with
So could
Adosan.
Alison give it an order, perhaps?
It starts going back to Goroth for orders. So it starts following him quickly.
So Alison just watches it and says, I should have known.
Alright, Lily and Alatar, you guys headed up as well?
Yeah.
Alright, so I assume that Adosan is also going to follow.
Yep.
Alright, so DT follows as well, and everybody is currently standing in front of the castle, but you're just looking at the foundation of the castle. You're not high enough to reach the front doors or anything.
Okay,
And
so
he says-
what was our plan again?
He says, "We're here."
This is when I rolled earlier to bind him with my strength roll,
Yes.
Yeah,
and
which,
I
So-
got 2 flumps.
2 flumps.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Goroth, you see them appear. And they go. And then they run behind Lily. And they sort of crane their eyes around Lily again. This situation has happened before.
yeah, but wasn't that with Alison last time?
Yeah, they went behind Erosan. But this time they're going behind Lily.
Yeah.
And they crane their stalk-like eyes around Lily's shoulders. And Lily, you get messages in your mind saying, "Make the bad man go away!"
Go away, Batman!
Where?
Batman!
Yeah, who's the bad man?
Batman!
You see their stalk-like eyes look towards you as you're speaking, and then they look towards Goroth.
I look behind me. Is the Friti there?
No, the Ifriti
Oh.
is at the front of the chariot.
Gory,
Alright.
why are you the Batman?
Who's the bad man? I'm not the
I
bad
don't
man.
know. That's why I'm asking.
Maybe there's somebody further in the distance
You're further in the distance.
than you, I suppose. But maybe there's
True.
someone even further.
And they speak into Lily's mind, saying, "He's scary."
I know he's scary. He scares me too.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Alright. Goroth, you hear that.
Oh, what am I doing that's scary? I don't understand.
You're not
You
turning
please,
into my friend.
Oh. Yeah, but how's that scary? You're confusing me.
I'm confusing your face.
Yeah, that is indeed confusing.
I don't know.
I love it when a person says, "I don't know why I did that." So the flumps are sort of just hiding behind you. What do
For
you
a
do?
minute, and then they poof away.
For a minute? Okay. And
Oh,
so
but the flumps were fun.
they sort of just land on your shoulders, Lily, and then their eyes crane towards you, and they say, "Will you protect us from the bad man?"
I will try.
Okay. And they sort of just lower their eyes down and just sort of they're basically jellyfish. Floating in the air jellyfish. So when they land on your shoulders, they're just sort of like beached jellyfish on your shoulders. So they're just sort of like and after a couple of seconds of believing that you're going to protect them, they're gone.
Alice, son.
What?
That's a combination of both names that aren't Goroth.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. Golatar! Why did they go away?
Oh, maybe you protected them.
Okay, she would believe that. Oh,
They're
man.
probably safe now.
Oh man. Okay, I saved him! Yay!
My character doesn't have, but I do.
Alright. So
I'm a hero! Where's my parade?
Hosmish says, "Well, maybe in there." And he motions towards the castle. And his arms are tied up at this
So
point.
I try to. Do I see anyone, like any guards or anything around the castle at all? I go out towards the castle and try to look around me.
Strangely enough, you look above and you see a layer of cloud above you and a layer of cloud below you that is currently holding up the foundation.
Take us above the clouds.
I'm kind of tied up now, aren't I? You'll have to control the chariot.
Okay. I don't mind. Or have anyone ever driven one of these things?
Well, I did, but it did end well.
Okay, so not you then. Anyone else?
Technically, this is an animal handling check would be required. So, whoever has the highest animal handling.
One.
Okay, if everyone has low, I have advantage.
I have 0.
Okay.
Who is higher
What about
than
you,
one?
James? Do you have a higher than 1, or should we go
I
for
have 3.
advantage? You have 3?
That's
Yeah,
higher than 1.
Wow.
It's wise. Okay, so James, do you want to do it, or are you just keeping still, not saying you know how to drive these things?
I can drive them. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead then.
Alright, you walk up to the reins. It's a little bit tall for what you are, but then Hosmish uses his foot to sort of slide one of the sackcloth sacks under to your feet, and then you sort of stand on the sackcloth sack, and you can now see over the railing properly in the front. The 2 currently flaming horses just sort of standing there, waiting. You have the reins in your hands. What do you want to
Lily,
do?
do you have anything to assist him with the driving, or?
No, but you do!
I do.
Help action?
Yeah, I'm gonna help him.
Alright, so Goroth is tall enough to see over because of all the growing he's done. So he grabs another part of the reins to try to help you. So you can roll animal handling with advantage. But what do you want to do specifically?
Well, we want to go above the clouds, right? So Try they can go up.
Okay. You'll
You're
try to make
driving.
them go up, see what happens. Alright, he got a natural. Due to the help action. So that was good. Goroth, you do notice that he is quite skillful, but he neglected to whip the reins first to make the horses go, so your help helped him, is how I'm going to say that happened. So you helped him remember to do that, and then as he does that, he pulls up on the reins, and the horses actually start to gallop up into the air somehow, and it pulls the chariot along with. And as you do so, I'm going to say the people who aren't driving the chariot, so Lily and Arosan, make a perception check.
I'm shit at those anyway, so.
Perception.
Well, it's just that you're looking and paying attention to something else, so you wouldn't see it.
18.
Yeah, I was saying I probably wouldn't see it anyway. I barely pay attention.
That's true.
With a
But either
-1.
With an 11, you wouldn't notice. So you're just sort of mesmerized by the horses and whatnot. Arosan, you look back behind the chariot, and you see no large space that would contain the room that you were in. Whereas before it was below the level of where you could see. But now you look and you don't even see anything that would constitute a level below the chariot.
So Arizona goes like, where did it go?
You're not sure? You're not sure how that works.
I'll figure it out with a very good spell of mine. I don't know how long they will be taking, but yeah, I have a spell like with identify.
Alright, so are you using it as a ritual? Or as...
So I'm spending a spell slot.
Okay, so it still takes you a minute. So either way, they're pulling you up, and you guys get up onto the upper level. And as you guys get up onto the upper level, Erosan, are you casting Identify on the chariot itself, or on the trap door, or?
On the trapdoor, I assume the trapdoor has something to do with it.
Alright. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just asking if you were just casting it on the chariot in general. You might have gotten something different. But either way, you casted it on the trapdoor. The trapdoor is enchanted. It is enchanted with a teleportation. No, it can't be. Not a teleportation spell. It's a portal. I don't know if it has a specific spell. Or,
There's no specific portal spell, but you can just say that there is one.
Yeah.
Well,
basically, it's a portal to another location.
Ooh.
The trapdoor itself functions as a portal to another location.
So Ezra goes like, ooh, that's interesting.
That would be why you don't see that huge room below. The room is in another location.
So Arizona, well, as we get on top, Arizona just makes a mental note of the trapdoor being like that.
You're not sure where the room is located, but you know that the room is in a separate location due to the enchantment on the trapdoor.
Okay.
So, alright, so you guys get to the upper level, and at this point you see like what looks like basically what you drove up on a stereotypical castle. That would have been the moat. So there was like a hole in the clouds above, and you sort of just landed on the top upper part, and there's like a drawbridge in the front of the castle that leads to this upper level, but the lower level is another level below. You're not sure why it's there, or what function it serves, or whatnot. But either way, you guys get up on the front of the drawbridge, What do you guys want to do?
Look around. Is there any creatures around us at all, like Aircockras?
Yeah, you see a few of them on the other side of the drawbridge, but they currently don't know what's happening due to the fact that you've restrained the Hosmish. You restrained him, so they don't see him over the edge of the because he's currently like on his knees and everything.
Yeah.
So they don't see him over the edge of the chariot. They just see a chariot.
So I send a message to one of the birds. It's not going to be just one, so it takes more than just one turn. But I keep sending messages telling him that we are back, like naming all of us, and we wanted to ask. I have to find that thing again because I forgot his name. So basically, Disif, yeah. We wanted to ask Disif if he would have allowed if he wished to speak with an Efreeti named Osmish. We have him restrained now, but he might be plotting to kill Disif.
Okay, so you send a message to the first one. Sending it to the second one doesn't happen until they respond. So the first one, which is the one next to one of the ones next to the drawbridge, it responds to you saying, "Hosmish, here? You mean General Hosmish?"
He's an Efreeti by the name of Osmish. He wishes to speak with the Jinn, but I read his mind, so he might be attempting to kill him, or he might be looking to work together against the Shadow. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe he might. Yeah, you should be careful. But either way, bring the information to deceive.
Okay, so the guy then responds, saying, "Well, they have a general named Hosmish. This doesn't bode well. Either way, I will notify Desis." And you see the one that you contacted turn around and start flying into the building.
So you're a general, I ask him.
He looks up at you, since he is now in a more lower position. You're actually higher than him. And he looks up and he says, "Why don't you just find out for yourself using your mind tricks?"
I used to take torch because he told me to.
He's basically saying he's not going to answer you because you dug into his mind already. So why don't you just do that again?
It makes sense to me, and I don't understand that he's telling me that I shouldn't. But it seems like you should dig into my mind because you have that ability. Is what I'm reading.
That's what he said, literally, but
yes, so
he was kind of being sarcastic. But either way,
I have a low wisdom. I don't understand sarcasm.
Yes, that's fine. Let's see.
Wisdom save at disadvantage because I'm heightening the spell.
Okay. Oh, by the way, it might be useful. The creature that you summoned, I'm gonna say that it has 4 times the stats of a regular skeleton.
Okay, cool. Should I find the skeleton?
You can find that if you wish. Because it might be useful. It might get in a fight or something.
I even brought all of my books on holiday.
And it has the ability to fly. And regular skeletons don't. So that's the only other ability that the Aarakocra would give it.
4 times the stats, so you mean HP and AC, because the other things are just 4 times it.
For hit points, 4 times, and for AC, add 4, and for the other stats, keep them the same.
Okay, cool.
Because technically it's just as strong as a regular skeleton, but it has more hit points. And it can dodge more easily, which is why it gets a higher AC. Because it can fly. So, let's see. And that shouldn't break anything. Skeletons don't have much HP.
Well, if you do 4 times the HP, we would get
Should be about
40.
or
About
40.
what?
Shouldn't
No,
it?
52, and it
Yeah.
has 17 AC.
See, as long as it didn't have over 100, then I was fine with it. So, 50 some HP is fine.
Mm-hmm.
50 some HP. I got 60.
It's a skeleton. It's weak to bludgeoning damage.
So let me ask, who has? So Lily has 60 HP max.
Mhm.
Oh wow, and that's supposed to be the oh wow.
What do you
Oh
have?
wow, 72.
I have 78. Did you take the HP feat?
Nope.
How do you have 78 then?
Magic.
Okay. So, he needs to roll wisdom. Is that what I was in the middle of doing before I forgot?
Yeah, roll wisdom save.
Okay. And it's the lower of the two, which is the same. So 17.
Yeah, lower of the 2. So
and he got 2 17s. So
let's before I'm finished, because I can do other stuff. Let's see, my DC is 16, so I'm gonna bend his luck. And yeah, he barely succeeds.
all right. So, basically, you get 2 conflicting memories, which is the thoughts, is what I should say. So, you get, yes, I am the General Hosmish. I always have been and always will be. And then you get, no, I was just named after the General, due to the fact that my family was really into military paraphernalia. You get both. So you're not sure which is the correct one.
That's strange.
Goes,
At least your name is Osmish.
I didn't actually mean read my mind.
Oh, but you
And
said...
maybe if you would have treated me better, I would answer you.
Oh, I don't see what's... How should we have treated you better?
Not reading my mind instantly. I might have been.
You told me to.
Not now.
Oh, when?
Originally.
Oh, yeah, I was sorry about that. I'm used to reading minds.
He just stares at you blankly.
So, does
What do you
Arison
guys
hear
wanna
this?
You guys
So
are
that-
sitting on a chariot that is on solid ground. Well, solid clouds, I should say. And you can walk through into the castle if you want. But Hosmish is tied up.
Yeah, but let me question is, did Arison hear them speak?
You heard them speak after, but you didn't hear him speak when he was telepathically speaking. So when he was telepathically speaking to the Aarakocra, you didn't
Oh
hear
no,
him.
I mean,
But when he was
Gorf to
conversing, when he was conversing with Hosmish, you heard everything.
yeah. So Arison just stands behind Gorf, just going like, I want to smash him, I want to smash him, I want to smash him.
Please don't. Even you're just thinking that, and I answer you.
Just stand there and just they go bonk. Not hard, but very light.
Would I be able to react, or if he's thinking about hitting me, actually, or?
You can if you wish.
Well,
So
the
if
second
he
you say that,
yes,
you just
but
get
first,
the flurry
before
of
we
curses.
activate all your abilities, He gets to react, so basically, in order for you to bonk him, you have to roll to hit using an unproficient melee attack with the gun.
Okay. Well,
So you can activate your abilities now, knowing
the
what you know, what has to happen.
the thing he would be hearing is just strings and strings of curses.
Alright, you can roll to hit him if you want.
So let's see how my strength 6.
So he dodges, due to the fact that he was reading your mind in the first place and he knew that you were trying to hit him.
Now, will you please stop that? I don't see why you're doing this. And why you're cursing all of the time. Whenever I read your mind, I hear you cursing.
And you hear some verbal curses as well. So they're sort of mixing in together. It's like an echo, it's kind of disorienting.
So Erson just watches him and then just starts focusing on him, like cursing all the time at him.
Alright.
I cancel the spell.
Alright. Yeah, it's kind of disorienting hearing the echo of him cursing and then him thinking of the curse next. So it's sort of like a delay of when he speaks and when he thinks the words.
So as soon as he notices that he isn't as annoyed, Erson stops taking it and just mumbles off as he walks away.
Alright. Alatar and Lily, I'm gonna check in with you two. These guys are just picking at each other while they're waiting for the Aarakocra to go in and come back. Do you want to wait for the Aarakocra, or do you want to go in the castle?
Wait.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Alright. So, as that fight was happening, the Aarakocra decides to come back. And he only goes about halfway across the drawbridge. And he says... He starts talking, but you guys don't understand him.
I send him a message. You can speak this way. It's easier.
He sort of looks around and then locks eyes on you again. And he goes, "Oh, you don't understand Auron?"
Oh, is it Auron? I wasn't really sure. I knew about the elemental language, but I never really got the name.
Yes, we speak Auron, the language of the wind.
So, like when
That's
I
what he's
cast,
thinking to you.
so I shoot him back a message. So when I cast like thunder spells, is that like words in your language?
In a manner of speaking, it's sort of like a shout more than specific letters.
So basically, it's Dragonborn. I don't say that.
Yes, it's basically that, except it's more
not.
like he's just sort of like if they went, "Rah!" then it would be the same word as your thunder. But so it's like a over. It's not an actual word. It's a sound. It's an onomatopoeia, I think is the word. Just a sound word. So yes, technically it's a word, but it doesn't mean anything. Is what he's trying to tell you.
Okay. Well, either way, I'll try it sometime.
He nods towards you and then he says, "Leave the prisoner behind, unless if you wish for him to have an audience with Decif. Otherwise, just leave him here. We'll have a contingent to take care of this shortly."
Well, he wanted to speak with the thief. And, I mean, what are your plans for Friti?
Well, we were going to lock him up until we decided what to do with him.
I don't think that's fair. Either you let him go, or you let him see the thief.
Alright, fine. He motions for you to come in, chariot and all.
Oh, okay.
He wants the whole chariot to come in the doorway, basically. So he's motioning for you guys to go in. And since you did so well with the animal handling, I'll say that Alatar just whips the horses go across the drawbridge and into the castle.
So I tell the Freety and everyone else. So yeah, they were gonna lock Hosmish up in jail, but I told them that, or I convinced them that the thief should meet him instead.
He looks up at you, and as soon as you say that they were going to lock him up, he says, "Typical. And expected."
They shouldn't lock up people. You could leave if you want now. If there's a fight, we might have to fight each other.
Well,
I'm on the Jin side. At least I am.
we'll see how this goes. And he sort of just is sitting with his arms behind his back, and he's got his legs in front of him, sort of in a prisoner position, just sort of sitting in the bottom of the chariot.
Okay.
And you guys get in there. Alatar, you, since you're the driver, you're the one who sees this first. As soon as you come into the opening, technically everyone sees this, but technically it's Alatar who sees it first. You guys enter into the opening of the castle, and this particular area is an area of the castle you haven't been in. There's a large area that's way open. The ceilings are super high above you in this particular area. And you sort of look back and forth to see if there's any direction. See if there's anywhere that they would want the horses parked, that sort of thing. And It looks like there's a little stable that can contain not only the horses, but the cart as well. And you just sort of steer it over that way, and it turns out there's some hay there, but it doesn't seem like the creatures that you're controlling at the moment care. But you steer them in there, and you park the cart, or the chariot, technically. And it seems like they'll take it from there. If anything needs done with the chariot or whatnot.
Alright.
So your driving job is done. So what do you guys want to do now?
So is then our Kokra like near us, showing us the way, or are we just supposed to just walk up there?
Well, it seems like there's a bunch gathered around, so if you wanted a guide, you could easily grab one.
I'll ask them. So, does the thief want to see the Freety, or what's?
The one that you contact is one of this group that is currently encircling you. Seems like they're very interested in what's happening. And some of them want to deal with the chariot, but the other ones are making sure that nothing untoward is happening.
I did just tell them that he had a plan to assassinate their.
Yes, that's true. So they're gathered around. The one that you talk to is just one of the random ones that's around you, and he says, "Would have talked to him one way or another, but now would be sooner, rather than him waiting in a cell for a while."
Oh, sure then. Do you want to show us the way, or should we find it ourselves? We've been there before, so.
And he sort of looks at you and says, "Sure," and then he turns to the other ones, and he goes to them, and they seem to understand him. And the other ones gather around, weapons drawn, around Hosmish, and that one is beginning to lead you.
Yeah.
So you guys can follow if you wish, or you can just let Hosmish go.
I will follow.
Okay, everybody going?
Yeah, I'm going to follow, I guess. Would I recognize where I am once I'm inside?
You didn't see this part of the castle, but you've seen the castle before.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, I have that feat. No, I don't, so I don't have a wanderer, so I can't do my usual trick of saying walking tom tom.
Yeah, you don't. Even if you had that feat, you haven't been in this part of the castle, so you couldn't just get to wherever it was that you wanted to go. You would have to have gone to that, been in the location you are now, and know the direction to go. So, even if you had that, it worked in this
Okay,
particular instance.
that's fair.
So, you guys follow. You lead up some spiral staircases, and some of them are quite cramped, but the Aarakocra don't care. They just have their spears pointed, and if he sort of starts nudging into one of the spears, he starts getting hurt a little bit, but he seems willing to take the abuse to continue along. And you guys continue. And like they don't retract their spears, knowing that there's not enough room. They don't care. They just jab it into him if they don't have enough room.
So, as Erso starts noticing, he sends DT to like stop them from doing it.
All right. DT is going to attempt to lift their spears.
Well, move them a little bit back, giving him a little bit more space. I mean, he's a bit more solid.
Yes. I need you to make an attack roll, just to see if you grab them. Well, technically it's a grapple, but I'm saying that since they're not resisting the grapple in the same way, it's just an attack roll for DT.
So, strength?
It's an attack roll. With a basic grabbing attack, so
Yeah, so
however
strength.
with proficiency, since he knows how to grab things.
Boom.
Alright, 20. Alright, they react, obviously. They're not going to just allow you to do that. As soon as he reaches out to grab, he does successfully grab one of the spears, but then suddenly, like 5 of them turn towards DT.
Uh-huh.
And they start yelling orders in Aura. They're pointing the spears at DT.
I asked the guy that was leading us, so what's all this commotion about?
The guy answers in his mind. This metal being just decided to take our weapons from us.
Yeah, our son usually does stuff like that.
Our son just looks and says, I think your guy's still holding his weapon?
Yeah, he is still holding the weapon away. And then, since DT is being threatened, he's trying to get a read on the situation from you, what you want him to do now.
So
he's sort of frozen in place.
So he says, okay, DT, let the weapon go. That will calm the chickens down.
He lets go, and then they get back into their formation, and the spears are still sticking in the guy.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, so this time DT is walking behind him, so that they can't just be sticking it because they can into him.
So you're going to try to put DT between the spear and them?
Yeah.
Alright, as that happens, they start threatening him again.
DT just keeps walking behind the 3T, just like ignoring them.
Alright. They are going to attack him.
So Erso goes like, wouldn't do that.
These guys are militarily trained to do specific things, and if people attempt to disrupt them, they're going to attack. That is what they're trained to do. So,
Oh boy. Roll initiative.
It's only going to be you, probably.
Well,
nobody else is going to start attacking them for no reason.
Well, I'll have my turn when it comes up, but you're probably first, you and I, Kokra.
Well,
and then the rest of us, if we want to interact.
Well,
Here's what I'm
DT.
gonna do. Remove all turns. If you guys really want to make a big issue
No,
of
no,
this.
no. DT is programmed to defend himself.
Okay, again, if you're going to
Okay,
make
yeah.
an issue of this,
Initiative, might as well.
roll initiative.
Well, Erso is going to try to suss the commotion data as quick as he can.
Alright, so
Because he
they
did say
have...
advised them not to do so.
Alright, so I'm gonna add this random thing with the initiative of... What did I roll? 17?
17 now.
Alright. So is everyone in there?
Yeah. Well, Gio is the one doing this and he's last.
Alright. So... Hosmish is going to forego an initiative roll because he didn't want to make a fuss. Lily, you witness this happening. You see the Aarakocra threatening DT with spears because he's apparently doing something that he probably shouldn't be doing, or that they don't like. So, what do you want to do?
God, what would Lily do in a situation like this? She'd probably like yell at someone. Hey, stop what you're doing, stupid!
They don't understand common, so
Yeah, I know.
everybody else hears that, but they don't understand you.
Yeah.
So they continue going. Threatening DT.
What language do they speak again?
They speak A-U-R-A-N.
Aaron.
That's right. Okay.
With the A and the U, it's O. Orin. At least as far as I know. I could be wrong. I'll admit I can be wrong sometimes. But either way. So, Lily.
Isn't that what life is all about?
Admitting you're wrong, yes.
So they don't seem to be standing down. You took a free action to yell that at them, so you still have your turn if you want to use it.
DT can use a little bit more armor, perhaps. I don't know what you can do.
My character doesn't really... No, she'd just probably yell. Until they actually strike, she would just yell.
Well, their turn hasn't come up yet, so they haven't had a chance to strike.
So...
she yells, Gorath, you spoke with one of them, and you know what the situation is.
Okay, I have to know what the situation is.
DT is, or Aro-san, using DT to blatantly disobey them, and is still doing so, and now they're just going to probably attack. The one that you were speaking to, you, at the tail end of your thing, he thinks attack, and then your message is cut off.
Okay. I'm gonna take it upon myself to solve this situation by twinning a spell.
Okay.
Don't say banish.
I'm gonna twin a spell by banishing both you and your robot.
I knew it.
Alright.
So both of you have to make charisma saving throws.
Oh boy, guess what?
A robot that has to make a charisma save.
Before I do that, I'll use my bonus action to sacrifice some spell slots for my sorcery points, because I'm low.
Alright.
Well, guess what?
What?
DT has a 0.
Well, he can still roll. Which he
And
nat 20.
succeeds.
Yeah.
Alright, now Ado-san.
Don't say that's the total opposite. Does he succeed?
Is 15 high
15 doesn't make it. It barely fails.
Okay. So Ado-san is going to vanish. However, DT is still acting under orders. So he's
God.
what he was ordered to do.
That is to, like, prevent them from poking the 3T.
Yes.
But as soon as they start like hitting him, he goes into full self-defense mode.
Yes. So he's going to go through his line of coding, if you will. So anything that he is programmed to do, he is going to do
Well,
instinctively. While his master is gone to not give him orders, he basically has a rundown of orders that he's supposed to perpetrate. So
which is, if not attacking, that is not killing. But now he's defending, so that means like try and disarm and try to defuse the situation.
So he's going to attack them until they stop attacking, is basically what I'm going to control him as.
Well, it's more like he's gonna take the weapons, break the weapons so that they're not useful anymore.
Well, it's basically the same thing. He's going to attempt to prevent them from attacking, whatever is necessary to do so. So, Gorath, you witness as Adosan vanishes, but DT is standing firm. You had no idea that an inanimate object could fail, or succeed, I mean.
Yeah, maybe I can't banish a construct, I think, to myself. I'll have to try again sometime. And I say out with my bonus action to the rest of the party. So what do you guys want to do? I mean, I don't think they'll keep attacking if we just stand down.
Alright, he says that to the group, so what I'll say is, you hear him say, I don't think that they'll keep attacking us if we stand down. So, instead of your character asking them, I'll say that you'll say that, so then they can decide on their turn.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Alatar. Unless if you wanted to do anything else. On your turn. Other than banish. I don't think you can. You use a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm out. I'm out.
Okay. Alatar.
I only have my movement, so yeah.
Yeah, I assume that you're not going to move. You're just trying to defuse the situation. But you can if you want.
No.
Alright, Alatar.
I kind of agree, so I think I'll just wait to see what happens.
Do you at least go into a hands-up sort of position, or do you just sort of look around and see what's going on?
I'll be a little defensive position, yeah.
Or do you blow up the entire room? You can do that as well.
He can do that. Technically, right now, the reason that this was happening is because you're in a tight corridor. That was the only reason this is happening. So you're kind of in a tight space with guys with spears sort of just trying to get a gauge on the situation, what's happening. So there's guys going around going, trying to get a hold on everybody, so it's a tense situation. Alright, enemy turn. So,
if they attack, they unleash hell.
They are going to attack because he is preventing them from doing their military maneuver, which is what they're trained to do. If somebody disrupts you, then you're supposed to attack them. So, let's see, there's 5 of them looking at him currently. Everybody else is just trying to get a hold of the situation. So, they don't have much for attacks. They can fly, and if they were flying, then they have more options. But currently, they just have their javelins. Yeah, they just have their javelins, which is their spears, as I've been describing them as. Technically, they're javelins, so. +4 to hit. So there's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's see what does
How many
hit.
hits?
3 hits.
3? Great. For my opinion, anyway. The characters I'm controlling's opinion, they wanted to hit, and 3 of them hit. That's pretty good. So they have 1d6 plus 2 damage, because these are just peons. 1, 2, 3. So that's how much damage. 8 plus 5 plus 3.
It's 11. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 5 is 16. That's...
Alright, so he takes 16 damage from javelins just gutting into him. They're mostly doing superficial damage at this point, but they're still harming him. Either way, that's what they do. And you hear more... And you hear more voices coming from either end of this hallway. So you hear more people yelling, basically. But it sounds like bird cawing at the moment. Ado-san, now that it is your turn...
finished.
Yes. Suddenly you find yourself in a stone hallway. You're on a staircase. You're not on the same staircase. This room is a lot wider than the room you were in before.
So Erzel just...
You look back and forth, you see red carpeting on the upper part of the staircase, and on the lower part of the staircase you see blue carpeting. And there's torches lighting this room. There's no windows.
So Erzel just holds his head together and goes like, hello? Anyone here?
You hear... in the darkness.
Back nuts.
Alright, anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'll try and get away from the laughing.
The laughing came from the upper part of the staircase, so the part where there's red carpeting. So do you move to the part where there's blue carpeting, or do you stay on the staircase, just move further away?
I'm going downstairs.
Alright, you go down to the part where there's blue carpeting, and as you do so, you bump into something, you sort of turn around, and you see what looks like a man in a jester's outfit.
Oh,
And he has like the little bells on either side. It's sort of dark in here, but you can still see that the coloration of his outfit...
I do have dark vision.
Yes, you do. But you can still see the coloration of his outfit, which is the part. Dark vision, you can only see gray. His outfit is black and white checkered, and he even has his face painted, and any exposed body part painted, and the entire outfit is perfectly checkered. And you sort of bump into him, and you sort of turn around slowly, and you see him standing there, and he goes... and he has 2 ice picks in his hands.
Please don't. I'm just accidentally here. I'm gonna take that as yes, I'm going to do that. What you're thinking you're gonna do.
So you use some of your movement. You still have everything else.
So I just goes like, why me?
You going to attack, or you just going to let this go for now?
Well, I'm not going to attack. I'm just going to cast. Let's see if that's the right thing. Shield of Faith of me, for just to be sure.
Alright. Plus 2 AC. Sure. That happens.
Then walk further down the stairs to see what will happen, hoping not attacking.
He takes an attack of opportunity if you leave his area.
Yeah, hopefully he's not going to.
He does. I'll say that he does. As soon as you do.
Okay. Let's see what he rolls.
Alright. This guy is an extremely powerful adversary that you just so happen to encounter. Therefore, 31 to hit.
Fuck!
Holy cow!
I know what this is too.
Yeah. The player, Ben, knows what this character is. You just so happen to encounter a very extremely powerful adversary. So, let's see, what's his damage? And I mean, what damage is he going to do, not what is wrong with him. So, he deals... It's going to seem small at first, but it's going to get worse. Deals 5
Oh boy.
piercing damage. And suddenly you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
11?
That is not enough. So you take 9d8
Oh, what?
plus 7. You take that much poison damage as you feel the ice pick just jab between your ribs, and you feel one of your lungs start to fill up with liquid. And that liquid is not only blood, but something else which is preventing you from breathing, which caused 46 damage.
Let me see how many.
Start going uncontrollably.
See, if only you hadn't started fighting like Cobra. None of this would happen.
I was trying to defuse it, but DT was gonna fight.
You created the situation.
Yeah, you ordered DT to do that.
Yeah, but Harrison
Either
could have
way,
stopped him.
you are in a bad situation, and
We
your
could have
friends have
asked
no idea
them.
what's happening. They just wanted to confuse the situation, so they sent you away.
So as soon as Harrison has been stabbed, he lifts up his gun and says, "Goodbye, shit."
All right, you are more than 5 feet away. Since
15.
you took the stab to get that far away. All right, 15. As soon as you lift up the gun and shoot, he lifts up. You almost see it in slow motion, but he seems to be moving in regular speed. As you shoot the gun, he moves up with the other ice pick and deflects the bullet, and then just gets back into a fighting position. The ice pick's coming out of this side of his hands on each hand. He's just sort of in a fighting position now. He goes,
Oh, oh, fuck you.
Alright, anything
Do I
else?
still have anything that may be giving me a bit more of a life? Let's see. Fuck. I would so badly wanted to retract that action now. Oh, fuck, why me?
What do you want to do? Do you have
Technically, you
anything else? You used your movement, you shot once. I don't know if you have a second shot or not. I think you have to reload.
Yeah, I do, but I have an action that can actually partially maybe save me.
Well, you used your action to attack.
I'm gonna just show it, that's it.
Alright, so that's what you're going to try to do next time.
Yes, to just be a bit more alive.
Alright, you can attempt to do that next time.
Yep.
However, you are stuck in this situation for the rest of your turn.
Hmm?
So, DT, he is going to not be happy that he was just stabbed in a different dimension.
Does he actually feel that his master got stabbed there, or does he react in any way?
He's on a different plane of existence, so even if he had some sort of telepathical ability, which I don't think he has.
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
At
because
least not that I know of. Let me just.
the way you described it made me think that. That's all.
Let me just double check that for you.
Well, DT is angry and in a different dimension is what I was trying to picture.
Oh, okay. I see. But yeah.
Okay.
Nope, it doesn't.
Okay.
It needs a visual sight of me.
Alright. So, he is going to... I'm going to get you to roll whatever his regular attack would be to punch one of these guys.
Well, he can multi-attack.
Well, he's going to start off by punching one of the guys.
Well, it needs to be first the first
He's
thing
in
and
a
then the other
tight
thing.
hallway, and there's like 5 guys directly next to him that are attacking him.
Well,
He
first,
wishes to punch the closest one, which is all of them are equidistant from him.
well,
so
he
he
can
wishes
kick.
to
He can
punch
also
one.
kick.
He wishes to punch one.
Okay, then that's for
You have
for
100%
goes-
control at the moment.
16.
So 16 hits for sure. And how much? 8 plus 9?
17.
8 plus 9. Just double check. Yeah, he knocked one of them unconscious.
He just sends that one flying across the room like. "Don't
Yeah, it
hit
flies
me."
into the wall and sort of just comes down unconscious. Does he have another attack?
He would have if you listened to me.
Well, he wanted to punch and then he wanted to kick. Is that possible?
He can do it if the target is prone.
He could have done it the other way around.
Well,
No, it's basically only on prone targets. It's like the bouncing thing. If they hit him, then you can attack with bonus.
well, then he can't do that. Then he wouldn't do that. He doesn't want to kill these creatures, right?
No.
So he would have just attacked them, knocked it unconscious. So if that's all he can do, that's all he can do. He's not going to gratuitously attack one that's on the ground if it's unconscious.
Oh no! That attack doesn't matter for that attack. We changed it. Remember, Ben? It's now something else.
What? Yeah, but it's the pounce ability, isn't it? What you're referring to?
No, then I can do 3 attacks.
Oh, so you have multi-attack by normal.
Multi-attack. I need to make first one.
Can I click
I
on
did-
your character's thing to see its abilities? Because he would have used 2 attacks if he had the ability to.
Yeah, if he has
Yeah,
multi-attack, then he can attack twice.
Yeah, I said, but that needs to be in specific order as it is stated.
Oh, it doesn't need to be in specific order.
Okay,
It just
then
has
he
2
can-
It
attacks.
doesn't say that on your sheet. It
Yeah.
doesn't say a specific order.
Okay, then he can. Then
It says that
Ooh.
he makes 1 attack with the spiked boot and 1 with the clawed hand.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
say what.
I wasn't aware he had multi-attack.
Yeah, he has multi-attack, and it says that on his sheet, but it says that he makes 1 with the boot and 1 with the claw.
Mhm.
So, it doesn't matter the order.
Okay.
Either way, he rolled a natural 1, so he punches the wall, or kicks the wall, I should say, since this is the boot. And his foot is now stuck in the wall, and he'll have to use something in his next turn in order to dislodge his foot. Due to the fact that he rolled a natural 1.
Yep.
Perhaps his other foot. That always works.
He can try to do that. If he wishes. He's just got 1 foot that is no longer usable at the moment. So technically he can still punch and kick with his other foot. If he
Mhm.
really wants to. Alright, Lily. You witness this happening. The birds are
Another
attacking.
thing, I got to go because someone is not happy with my family with me just being up so late.
Ah. Okay. Well, I'll finish this round. And we'll see what happens. Or I'll get back to you.
Okay,
Before I'm gonna do. Alright?
fine with me.
Alrighty. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Alright. Lily, you witnessed this happening. DT is attacking creatures, and creatures are attacking him. What do you want to do?
Shoot. Lily would want to get in the middle of it, and I think it's a stupid idea, so she's probably going to get in the middle of it.
All right. Which side are you on?
I'm not sure. I was thinking I was on his left side.
No, I mean, are you with the Aarakocra or are you with the...
Oh.
Because
Are you just
technically,
in the
whether
middle
you're on the
yelling?
left or the right doesn't matter.
Could mean something, because you might have stuff placed geographically.
But either way.
Be on DT's side.
Okay, DT currently has his foot stuck in the wall. You can attempt to dislodge it with an action,
Sure.
or you can attack the Aarakocra if you want.
I will try to pull his leg out.
All right, that is an athletics check.
7.
It's wedged in pretty far, and it's a stone wall, so...
Even with a +5, it's 7.
Unfortunately, it's enlarged quite far. So I'm not blaming your character for being weak in this moment. I'm saying that it's just stuck at the moment.
Yeah. I'd say that would be her whole turn. Like yelling, DT, no!
Alright? Goroth, you witnessed... it's basically, in this situation, in the real world, would be like you were being escorted by military people, and somebody disagreed with one of the soldiers and tried to get in their way, and the soldiers are now shooting at this person, and this person has now knocked out one of the soldiers. What do you want to do?
I tell the Aarakocra, you should stop this before it gets out of hand. Just tell them to back off.
So you're telling one of the Aarakocra that basically this situation is futile. Just stop.
Yeah, it's only gonna. Yeah, you don't want to drag this out too bad. It could get a lot worse.
I'll allow you to respond what it is currently going to say, even though technically it would have used your action to use message and blah blah blah, or whatever. I'm going to allow you to respond. It says, "It is our duty to defend this castle with our lives. This thing stepped in our way. We must put it down."
I mean, why don't you just leave it at the ship? Just back off, and it can go back there.
It needs to be put down. That's all that he says. He's no longer listening if you try to contact him again.
Sure. Okay, that's my...
It would have used whatever you needed to use in order to cast message, I'll say.
Yeah, it used my action. I'm just thinking what I would do and what I should do. So yeah. I'll roll an Arcana to see if I know any way of turning it off, basically.
Okay. Go ahead.
With tides, because I want to do my magic.
Alright. 22 succeeds to find out that you've witnessed Ado-san working on it. You didn't really want him to notice that you were slightly interested in how he was animating it. But you were watching him as he was working on it at one point. And you sort of realized that its head controls its motor functions. If its head was detached from its body, or if you somehow did something to its head that caused it to not work, then it would stop moving.
A weapon gets cursed too. A random weapon within 30 feet of me.
Okay, there are tons of weapons within range.
Most likely one of the Aarakocra, but you can roll if you have like a number.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll a d2. If I get 1, it will be one of your allies. If I get 2, it will be one of the random other people in the room.
Sure.
So, roll just to make this easier and make it more interesting because it's half and half whether or not it's one of your allies. Okay, so you see one of the Aarakocra. Does it say what the curse is? Does it just have random attacks?
Basically up to you. You can put whatever curse you want.
Alright, you see... This is awesome. You see one of the Aarakocra's javelins start to pull it down the hallway away from the fight. And it's like, and it's trying to hold on to the spear, but the spear is pulling it down the hallway. Seems like it has a mind of its own suddenly.
I shrug. And that's my turn.
Alright, so with your Arcana check, you do know that its head controls its motor functions.
Oh yeah, actually I would do if I have time, but yeah. I'll just tell Altar and Lily, you can turn it off by taking its head off. You can put it back on afterwards.
It's true.
Okay.
You can repair it later. So, Alatar, you heard what Goroth just said. And you see a random guy just suddenly going down the hallway as his weapon pulls him along. You're not sure what that's about, but you don't have time to pay attention to that at the moment. Do you want to help defuse the situation, or do you want to just remain in a defensive position?
See what happens.
It's up to you.
Try shooting something now. I know I can't get DT's foot out of a wall because I'm terrible at that.
Maybe
Yeah,
you could disarm his head.
You can do that as well, if that's what you want to do. It depends on what your goal is.
No matter what, they're gonna keep attacking DT.
Not if he's turned off.
True.
Sure, if he's disabled, they will consider the threat neutralized, and they'll probably continue as they were. They are militaristic, you do know this from that. So, they're basically trying to neutralize the threat. If the threat becomes neutralized, then they have nothing left to fight, so...
I can try and turn them off, huh?
You can attempt to do that. There are a
try
few
that.
ways that you could. You could... I know if... this line of conversation is definitely against what Arizon would want, but... you could dispel magic on its head. That might dispel the magical components within its mind. Though that might erase its memory. I'll say that much. But you've been hanging around Erosan long enough to know that might happen if you do that.
Okay.
You could try to like physically rip its head off, or smash it off, or
Yeah,
blast
you could.
an eldritch blast.
Yeah, you could attempt to use some sort of tinkerer's check to just mechanically dislodge it. You could physically try to just rip it in two. There's all kinds of options, but it depends on what your character is good at. So what do you think your character would do?
Out of all those, be Eldritch Blast.
Okay, you can just try to blast its head off.
I don't know
could
the
work.
spell, and I'm not athletic or strong.
Alright.
Alright, let's like shoot his head off. It can be
Alright.
fixed, you know?
Alright, go ahead. Let's look at DT's AC, and it's probably less than that. He has 15 for his armor class. So you hit.
They both hit. Okay.
Right? 8. I don't know where he's keeping track of his health, though. I don't see it on the sheet.
Temporary hit points in his sheet, maybe.
Maybe on his sheet. You're right.
Temporary hit points there.
I'll look at his sheet. Let's see what's currently there.
Okay.
He has all his spells, like, customized to have different names. Yeah. Let's see. So, temporary hit points is currently at 0. So I assume DT's hit points are not at 0. So I don't know how he was keeping track of that. Apparently, Autosom's HP is 21 out of 72, which means he's not in good shape. But I don't know. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna message him on Facebook so you can tell him this if he misses it. I'm gonna say add this damage to DT. So 19. Just gonna message that to him. Gonna put it in the main chat so everybody can remind him in case he forgets next week or something. DT added damage 19. So it's in the main chat. Everybody should be able to see it and hold him accountable in case he doesn't add it. There. That seems fair enough to me. I assume DT, oh, it's actually on his hit point thing here, but I don't know how to edit that. So I'll just let him do it. Because it says he has 51 out of 67. I don't know how he edits that, so I'll just leave that to him. Either way. So that happened. You hit him in the head, and he goes, "Tung, tung," and he just sort of turns towards you. His eyes focus in on you. You hear the noise, and it seems like he's disoriented because he's being attacked by things that he considered allies before. He's not sure what's happening to him, why his allies are attacking him, and things that he considers enemies are also attacking him. So he's sort of confused. Either way, he's just a construct, if that means anything to you. So, he gets hit in the head.
Oh yeah, is my skeleton here as well?
Yes! I forgot about that.
I have not given him any orders.
Okay, so it's just going to protect you, but you haven't been attacked yet. So it's just sort of standing there. Unless if you tell it to protect other people, it's not going to do that. It's considered your thrall or whatever. So it's just going to protect you if need be, but otherwise it's just going to take orders from you, which you haven't given any, so. I would have let you retroactively give orders if you really wanted to. But...
No.
Alright, enemy turn. I actually have to do two things. Considering I'm acting for the... Since this is enemy turn and I had to add an enemy due to the fact that he was teleported elsewhere, I'm going to do both of them at this moment. So, 5 more rolls against DT, which consist of... Let me see here. What did I roll for them? I'm pretty sure it was a D20 plus 4. So here it is. Boom. 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 So that's 4, 5. So he only hits once. So he needs to add. It was a d6 plus 2. He needs to add another 8 damage. So I'm going to type in he added damage. What was it? I already forgot. 8. 8. I'll throw that in there as well. So that is added. Okay. So then it is going to be the d20 plus 13. Oh, wait. I actually have to decide what I'm going to do with his turn. So the Aarakocra attack him. Hopefully he watches this next part, because it's important to what's going to happen in the next one. The jester-like figure is in an attack stance for a moment, due to the fact that he had to deflect a bullet. But he sort of just relaxes after. And he sort of just tilts his head and he says, "It's time for the fun part. Run!" And however Erosan reacts to that is how we'll pick up in the next one. So, I guess I'll end the broadcast.